Most travel content creators are sitting on thousands of dollars in photos that they've already taken. They just don't know how to license them. Tourism boards pay us for ours, and today I'm gonna show you exactly how the licensing works, how we price our images, and how we negotiate usage. I'm Scott. I run an account with my wife, Bobo and Chi-Chi, and we work in the travel content creator. And after over a decade as a travel content creator, one of the most common questions I get asked is, how do you actually license your photos? And how much should you charge? In this video, I'm breaking down everything I wish someone had taught me 10 years ago. We're gonna be talking about usage rights, pricing, negotiation, how we go into the conversation, and how we use a tool called Photoquote Pro to price our work. So let's get into it. So before we get too far into pricing, let's talk about why licensing is a great resource that I don't see a lot of travel content creators either talking about or realizing that it's something that they can do. A few months back, we were speaking at a conference in Ireland. The person that introduced our talk to the audience, her name was Lauren Gay. She said that she had used some of our advice and made $5,000 from just a single deal. So if that's something that you're interested in, you're gonna wanna check this out. So first, when a brand or a destination hires you, they're not paying for how long it's gonna take for you to make the photo. They're probably paying for distribution to your audience, and then if they want to license a photo from you afterwards, they're paying for the usage. This is true for tourism boards, hotels, magazines. They're always on the look for new, fresh, authentic content that reaches their potential customer. You know, my wife and I, we are a white, childless couple. That would be the aesthetic and the things that we're gonna be shooting. Maybe you travel with a dog, maybe you're a black couple, maybe you're a solo female travel, maybe you're a solo guy, maybe you're a gay couple. And even if we were at the same spots and we're all shooting similar things, the fact that you are different and you have your own unique eye is enough. Don't worry about having the most expensive gear. And the best part about this is you're monetizing photos that you have already taken. And you most likely already have an eye for it. You're probably doing exactly the kind of marketing photos that they're looking for. So in this situation, you're not necessarily trading time for money, you're selling the usage rights. And once that clicks, you'll know how to have these conversations, which is the perfect segue into, we gotta understand a few key licensing terms you need to know. So if anybody ever says like, hey, we really like your photos, we were curious about licensing them, before you ever send a quote, you gotta understand a few of these terms because they're gonna dramatically change the price. Usage rights, this is basically referring to what the client is allowed to do with the photo. Term or duration is gonna be referring to how long. Really common is 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 5 years, etc. You could also have in perpetuity, which means forever. And then sometimes you'll see it territory or location. Where is it gonna be? Is it gonna be local? Like I live in Brooklyn. So is it gonna be just in Brooklyn? Is it gonna be in all of New York City? Is it gonna be in all of New York? Is it gonna be in all of the United States? Is it gonna be all of North America? You can see how it starts to expand. Is it gonna be local, national, worldwide? That's gonna have an impact. Next is gonna be exclusivity. When I hand over these photos, am I allowed to try to resell it or use it in another way? If not, I'm gonna charge more money for exclusivity. And then where is it gonna be used? Is it gonna be on social media? Is it gonna be on a website? Is it going to be in a print ad? Is it gonna be at a photo booth at a convention? Is it gonna be in a museum? Is it gonna be on a billboard? All of those are also gonna affect how much price. And also the buyout, which could refer to just being they own everything forever, and you should charge a lot of money for that. If you were to stop watching this right now and you learn nothing else from this video, is don't send a price before you know the usage. And those are the things you wanna know. So this is how we use Photoquote Pro. This is not sponsored. We've used it for the last 8 years because it just works. It's really easy to use. And here's a few things that I love about it. One, there's no subscription. So in 2025, that alone is worth celebrating. Two, it's updated by real photographers, meaning that they go and call production companies and agencies around the country and they ask them how they're pricing, how they're finding things, and these prices are based on actual industry standards, not guessage, which is really, really nice. And I remember when I first was getting started and I didn't know how to price it, when I found this, it gave me a starting point, which is really nice. Three, it gives you negotiation tips. It'll literally tell you, some examples that people are giving, don't accept this rate for unlimited print unless it's a budget is at least X. It has a lot of different insights. Sometimes even I've still never been asked some of these questions. So sometimes it's kind of fun to see what other people have done in the situation. But like everything, there is a downside. So what is the downside? I've seen some discourse online asking about Photoquote Pro and their prices being on the higher side. And in my opinion, the general pricing for Photoquote Pro is on the higher rate. It's basically as if you were quoting, huge companies like Apple, Goldman Sachs, Fortune 500 companies that have big budgets, and honestly, they don't even blink at these prices. But DMOs, you know, what we're talking about in the travel industry, they don't have these kind of budgets. So in the beginning, we would miss out on a lot of deals because we weren't so flexible. It took us some time to realize we're not gonna sell any of these photos at these prices. So we've made some adjustments. So as you can see in this thread, Silver Wagon is saying their experience is inside newspapers and editorial, and so they don't always get these prices. They have to kind of like tweak it for that. And my bias is in travel and tourism, so I kind of have a similar thought. But the 1 or 2 times a huge brand asks for a license, this is great because they're not gonna blink at it. And I would say, you know, depending on how many campaigns we do the year, it's probably $5,000 to $15,000 that we get per year from licensing photos to different tourism boards. Like I said, it just depends on how many tourism boards we worked with. But yeah, so yeah, the downside is it is a little bit high for the tourism industry, and it sounds like the editorial industry as well. But again, it's still a nice baseline to where we can make an educated decision from. So everyone prices differently. It's taken us a few years and we're still constantly refining our pricing structure. But here's how we do it after 11 years of travel content creation. At this point, we would consider the size of the client. If it's a DMO, we've learned that web and social use for 1 or 2 years is the most common thing that they want, and we price it out at $250 per image. How did we come to the price? We came to the price because it was just a little bit under the going rate for web and social use back in 2018. And if we look at it on Photoquote Pro now, it's gone up a little bit, but we still haven't tweaked it. Now, if this is a huge company, like we're gonna charge the higher end of the rate. And oftentimes those might be situations where they're gonna ask for exclusivity because they can. And that's great because they're gonna pay you more money. So now if a DMO wants to do some print advertising, like a brochure, visitor guide, etc., we used to do this whole song and dance where we'd ask for circulation, then they'd come back, sometimes they'd be like, what's that? And then we'd explain it to them. And circulation is how many people it's getting printed to. And then we'd be like, okay, and then what's the size of the image? And they'd be like, I don't know, I gotta get back to you. And then we'd give them the quote and they'd be like, whoa, that's way too high. And there's just so much back and forth. And we found that over time with all of the back and forth and all of these different things, it just complicates it. So now what we've done is we've just streamlined it and we've said, hey, for $500, we'll give you print usage. It'll give you up to 500,000 circulation and you can use up to full-size image. If it's above that, please let us know and we'll give you an updated quote. This has cut down on the amount of conversation and how overwhelming and confusing it could get. Because you gotta remember, a lot of times DMOs are sometimes just 1, 2 people running an entire department, like do the job of 3 or 4 people. So if we can work with them and help them out, they're gonna love that. And then it's gonna be less tedious of going back and forth and just trying to get, you know, you're talking about the difference of $100 here. My advice is just try to make it easy for them. 3, we charge more for high value usage. So paid ads, print campaigns, billboards, exclusivity, long terms, these are the things that are always gonna raise the rate the highest. And I have a free mini course here on YouTube that I made that breaks all this down for more viewing if you wanna get more granular. 4, we avoid doing buyouts. If you were to do that, triple your price, maybe even more, if I'm being honest. Sometimes we get asked for exclusivity, and if that's the case, we double or triple the price. The reason why is for exclusivity, you don't have the ability to do anything else with it. You're just kind of capped out, like they own it, right? That's a premium, they're paying for a convenience, you get to charge them for that. If you get asked to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, because maybe a product isn't released yet, you know, maybe because there's proprietary things that they can't talk about yet, it's totally normal. One thing I did learn the hard way is you can ask if you can put that work in your portfolio once the work is finished. And I didn't know that I could do that. And I didn't ask. And then I finished a video project for a company. It took me the whole year to make it. And they did not allow me to put it in my portfolio. And that was a hard lesson to learn because it looked like I was just doing nothing for an entire year. Main takeaway here in negotiating is look at the client and price accordingly. Don't give things away for free. You don't have to discount your price. Just adjust the types of usage they can get for that price. So a lot of creators struggle with this part, and here's exactly how we go about it. First reminder, never send a price first, ask questions, say happy to send a, if they message you, say happy to send a quote, how will the image be used, then follow up. And I recommend asking them all at once. Say, hey, happy to send a quote, how will it be used, how long, where do you plan on using it, is it gonna be paid, organic, print, digital, and where is it gonna be, and what locations. Step 2, you can either have a single price. Like we said, we give the $250 or the $500. And then we also do, I forgot to mention, we also do a bulk pricing. So if they get 10 images, we'll do $200 per photo or $2,000 as a way to incentivize buying more photos. You can also do a tiered pricing system where you kind of basically come up with a package where it says, hey, maybe you can get X amount of photos at this price, whatever works best for you. It gives a little bit of more power to the client, and it still allows you to be in control. And then lastly, if the budget is really small, you can reduce the usage types. You don't have to reduce the price, just reduce the usage. That helps you with the value of your work. And now let's say, for example, they are not asking you if you want to license photos. What we'll do is if we're going on a campaign, we'll actually send an email where we're looking forward to the destination. After the trip is over, we're gonna put all of our photos into a media gallery, and we'll send them over for you to look at. If you like any of them, please let us know. We'll be happy to license them to you. There's no pressure. We're kind of warming them up. So that way when we do finish the trip and we come back and reach out to them, it's not out of nowhere. So my final licensing tips: don't give away the photos for free unless it's charity or something extremely strategic. Be careful with buyouts, charge heavily for them. Track licensing. If you do send out licenses, you can track licensing. I know Photobiz Pro, which is another program by Photoquote by Craddock, the people that do Photoquote Pro. I don't really do this, if I'm being honest. DMOs, if you've worked with me, you didn't hear that. The reason why you might want to track it is because you can relicense it to them in a couple of years, but typically things change so often that your photo most likely isn't going to be up to date anymore. So hopefully you found this helpful and you're finding a little bit of confidence understanding how to have these conversations. If you want a video on how to negotiate licensing deals or specific pricing scenarios, let me know in the comments. I'd love to make a follow-up. I'm not sure what would be the most helpful. So again, if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing, leave a comment, and share it with another creator who's undercharging. Let's fix that together, and thanks for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you next time.